make it TFR.
Truth Frequency Radio.
Good morning, TFR.
Good morning.
To you. Start your day off bright and shiny. Get up off your little hiney and begin your happy day.
Thank God it's Friday.
It's Friday, my dudes.
It is Friday, my dudes, and a TGIF to you all. Welcome to the Ironworx, right here on Truth Frequency Radio. My name is Josh Corey, and I am joined this morning by very good friends and co-hosts of mine. Starting off with Mr. Zachary Zabala. You may know him as Good Times for All. Over on YouTube, Zach, how has your week been? Good, sir. How are you doing?
Not too bad. It's been really good. I love spring. I just love spring. I got the window open. No, it's just, it's bringing me back to life, kind of. I don't know. I've been on the move a lot. This is my first, garden in 2 years. So I am super duper excited. I'm at that point where everything's, I don't know, I might try to sneak another bed in, but it's ready, and now it's just that waiting game where it's like, oh, I just want plants in there now. I want to care for them, but it's a patience game. I know this. So yeah, it's just getting back into the gardener swing of things. I'm excited. I'm really excited.
Well, that's awesome. We are definitely behind schedule this year.
You're all right. I think it's a month behind the Hebrew calendar thing. I think Jack and them might have celebrated a month early. We got a few frosts in there. I've been talking to a bunch of older gentlemen who garden and whatnot, and they all say we usually wait till the end of April, May, beginning of May, just to be sure, because they've all been burned by cold weather.
Yeah, no,
So
that
yeah,
makes
you
sense.
might be right in time.
Well, good. I've still got to figure out where to put the hell a garden bed. Or we may just do pots this year.
I knew a bunch of people don't do pots though. Get 5-gallon buckets.
That's
Get
what I
them
meant.
more.
It's all pot.
More earth. Yeah. Drill some holes in the bottom. Fill the bottom with. I usually put rocks, big rocks, so the water could drain out easier around the holes in the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And then I put straw or something like that in there as like a filler, something that'll break down and decompose, and then compost, and then dirt, and then the plant. Yeah. But yeah, I know people who have had great gardens growing strictly out of buckets because they lived in a neighborhood where they weren't allowed to destroy their own land. That's what they called it. Yeah, you're not allowed to do anything with your land because you live in this neighborhood, so you can't have a garden in your backyard. It's like, are you serious, dude? Why would you live there?
Right.
But no, it works. It can work.
Well, sweet. I may do that, although my 5-gallon buckets may be occupied with my indoor garden.
Yeah, go find a bucket factory. They'll give you some.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to say bucket. Anyway, let's say hello to Mr. Walter Johnson. You might know him as Flat Earth Head over there on YouTube. Walter, how has your week been, my good sir?
Good morning, Josh, Zach, Lucas, everyone else out there. It's been a good week for me. Yep, definitely. The spring is here. It is definitely springing here for sure. I love it. I'm excited. I am definitely feeling it. Need to get my honey flowing a little better because I've kind of slacked off on local honey and started buying some that had like just weird little things about it in different little specialty places I would find it. So I need to get my local honey going again for sure. It had kind of been a thing where I had a local guy literally here in my town that was doing it, and then he kept having bears get in his hives and tearing them up, and then he moved and never set it all back up again. So my local honey guy I've lost, and I don't know. There's probably somebody if I looked, but definitely need to get that happening. Definitely. But yeah, it's been a good week.
You know what? That's a
Hope
really good
everybody
point.
else is doing great.
I need to get on
What,
that
sir?
local honey too, considering I've now moved and have different
True.
histamines in a different area. I probably ought
Oh,
to
the
get on that.
pollen down here has been horrible. It's on everything.
Yeah. You know, the kids have the chalk, whatever, paint, all that stuff, and it leaves that's what it looks like all over the garbage cans in my neighborhood. It's just like they're coated with yellow powder. It's pretty crazy already. So that's fine though. That's nature doing her thing. So I'm good with it. I just got to hide in my house till it's over. Do your thing, Mother Nature. I'll see you in a few months.
So is that like plant spunk in a way?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty much what that is.
You never saw Grease 2? Come on, man.
Filthy bastards.
Where does the pollen go?
Anyway, let's say hello to Mr. Lucas King, LC King on YouTube. Lucas, how was your week?
Week's good. Hello, everyone. Thanks for coming along and joining us here again. So I'm sort of on the backside of this, the downward spiral into the fall or the autumn. And, you know, I'm getting ready to curl up like a bear, you know. I don't mind. I've been hard at it in the garden, and sort of after a while your garden beds get a bit hard, and so I've been using the broad fork and doing a lot of broad forking, which is basically loosening up that soil and getting ready to plant a heap of autumn sort of stuff. So it's good.
Wake up with some sore shoulders.
No, it's a different sort of action. You sort of use your body weight. It sort of gets between those shoulder blades, which is good, really. You know, starts working some of those little back muscles.
Yeah,
so
you
feel it. You feel it, but it's a nice little. It's almost like rowing, like jumping on a rowing machine, and you know that same action. It's good.
Yeah, I love laying in bed after a hard day of work and feeling all those muscles that got, used.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it just feels good.
Yeah, when I do a yoga session, that you feel your muscles being used. Then, holy moly! You wake up the next day, you're like, like your hips are all sort of loosened up, and you're going, yeah, that hurts. Anyway.
Yeah, I need to find a good sun salutation with the breathing so that I can get back into doing something. I am way too sedentary. But I'm sorry, Zach, I totally interrupted you. What were you saying?
Oh, nothing important. I fixed the air compressor yesterday.
Nice.
Yeah, a little bit of super glue. That's all it took. Little plastic piece and these quarter cable. They're nice little, you plug it in. It doesn't have a little gas engine on it. It's real nice. But the regulator on it, there's a little plastic thing in there that always breaks. So I had to pull that out, hollow out. It was like a little nipple on I don't even know what to say, like a ring with a little nipple sticking out of it that just goes and pushes into this gauge. Well, the nipple part always breaks off and pushes through the center. They just built it weak. So I had to shave it out a little bit, put the nipple through the other side. So it's like, I don't know how to explain it. It's too early, but it works now. It's got a little tiny leak, but what was happening is the air tank would fill up and have plenty of pressure, but it was getting no pressure to the regulator. So you could hook anything up to it and no air would come out because that little piece of plastic had broke. So now it works, but I still haven't figured out how to. I was trying to fill up those oxygen canisters. I wanted to play with fire again. I'll get it. I'll figure it out. Yeah, it's fun. I love taking stuff apart, fixing it. You just get this.
And you did that live stream where you were, checking the wires and found out
I forgot about
they've
that.
been a bit dodgy. Yeah.
Yeah, most of the electronic components, the wires inside of them are not actual copper. They look copper, but you melt them down and they come out looking. It's zinc. That's all it is zinc. It melts real low temperature. The only wire that actually was copper wire was the wire I bought from the place as copper wire. But everything I've pulled out of a electronic device so far has not been copper. So if you go to scrap stuff, make sure you know that it's actual copper. Someone sent me a message on that video in the comments and said, yeah, that's why I thought I had a bunch of copper. I took it to the junkyard and they told me it was dirty copper. And the price was like a quarter of what it should have been for copper. So yeah, you gotta be careful when you're scrapping and stuff like that to know what you're actually doing. There's a good channel on there. It's Martin Liedke's son, Welsh Dragon Metals.
I think that's right.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Welsh Dragon Metals. But he's got all kinds of different videos on there to tell you exactly how to, determine what is what and where you find all the good stuff. The older electronics is where you get all the good stuff. More of it because they are all bulkier and bigger. So they had to use more of it. And I was looking up palladium. That's what they use inside of capacitors. That stuff is like 5,300 degrees to get it to melt.
Whoa,
So yeah,
that's huge.
I'm not going to be melting palladium anytime soon. That's way up there. That's like almost graphite melting point.
That's worth a bunch too, isn't it?
Yeah, palladium. It's part of the platinum family, I believe.
Yeah.
And I was looking up. Have you ever heard of osmium? I think it's called.
When his last album? Or one of them?
Yeah.
I was
greatest
thinking,
hits?
is it from here? Is
Yeah.
it from here or not?
Osmium Cometh was one of my favorites.
Osmanian cometh. That's the one, right?
Yeah, it's twice as dense as lead and cannot be smelted. I've never even heard of this material before. But
What do you mean it can't be smelted? It's a metal though?
If you sniff
it's
real
a
hard,
metal.
there's just no odor.
But yeah, they can't cast it. They can't put it into a cast and turn it into something. The only thing they can use is osmium trioxide or something like that. They use it as a stimulant for chemical reactions. And if it touches your eyes, the dust, you like go blind instantly. Supposedly.
What?
That's what they say.
What?
That's what they say.
Yeah, it's really toxic. But it can't be smelted into like little pieces for some reason, they say. And it's twice as dense as lead. I thought lead was the densest element. And they're saying it's twice as dense as lead. It can't be smelted. Now, when you go and look up, hottest thing to smelt, this does not pop up. But when you go and look at this, it says, yeah, this is the hardest thing, one of the hardest things to melt. It's the densest thing that we know of. And we can't turn it into like a little rod or, a key or something like that. It just doesn't work. Don't know why. I need to do a little more research. But yeah, osmium, real weird stuff. It's about 1,000 times more rare than gold, but yet it's only $400 an ounce somehow. So yeah.
Oh, maybe start investing in osmium.
There you go. I don't know. Maybe, yeah.
What
I
the
mean,
fuck
if
you
it's
gonna
that
do
much
with it?
more rare than gold, but it has no uses really.
Right. That's why it's $400.
kicker.
What are you gonna do with it once you get it?
Well, you're definitely not going to smelt it.
You got a good paperweight there.
For blinding enemies, possibly.
The indestructible paperweight.
Yeah.
Well, how does the dust ever occur? If you can't even smelt it, how does it dustify?
Well, you can grind on it. You can do stuff to it, but
Okay.
and you can turn it into like a. It has a boiling point. They say the melting point, all that stuff. But they say it won't cast.
There's no smelting point. I need more coffee.
It could be because the smelting point and the boiling point are only like 100 degrees difference.
Wait, what? No.
Yeah, smelting just means
so
it's turning into liquid.
So you can boil it,
so
but you can't
just
smelt it?
it transitions really fast, is what you're saying.
Yeah, that's the reason I'm thinking. I
So
don't
it
know.
evaporates essentially when it gets hot.
Yeah, once you get it to that certain point, it just doesn't.
I thought they couldn't like break it down. I misunderstood
You'd
what
have
you
to
were trying to say.
do it under pressure or something.
I'm sure we could figure it out.
Figure it out. Make little bars, sell it for, twice its value or something.
But yeah, we're gonna learn something new every day.
Ideally.
Yep. Best way.
I was gonna go weld. You got me. I want one of those forks, Lucas. I'm gonna make one. And I went to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the welder right here. I got it all out and everything. I had it all set up. I was gonna go live, and then the thing I was gonna weld it to, I was like, man, this is way too light. What the hell is this made out of? And I did some testing on it, and it turned out to be fiberglass. So I'm not welding anything to it.
Yeah, that wouldn't cost you much. You just get some, bits of steel, grind them up with the grinder, and weld them to it. Best advice ever. You can get the other ones that have, my one's like more like a fork that you would dig into the ground, but you can get other ones where you basically have two handles, and you can use your whole body weight, and they're a little bit wider, and they can do a whole garden bed at once. Well, it's about 60 inches. So,
oh, nice. But
so before we get too far from it, I'm going to tease everyone with something I'll show you this afternoon if you come hang out with us over there on our Iron Real Media podcast channel, on our YouTube channel there. I was outside yesterday and the bees were, well, hey, it's springtime. We know what the bees were doing. We're going to keep this show not adult. Anyway. So the bees are all having fun, and I pulled out my camera and realized I had a super slow motion, not just slow motion, but super slow motion setting. So I spent about an hour chasing bees. Every neighbor that drove by, I'm sure, wondered what the fuck I was doing. But hey, I like to be that neighbor. Anyway, yeah, guess what? Bees are fast. They're really fast. I managed to catch one finally, with it not being a dark background, with it not being grass behind him, and finally got the wing motion. Something to see. Definitely something to see. It's not great. It's not like, amazingly great. But now it gave me the ideas of how I can set the camera up somewhere on a tripod, and it'll be some better footage next time. But this time we can definitely see wing motion and the whole idea of it being more a guidance than a levitation. The wing's purpose, I mean. Yeah. Anyway, I'll share that with you guys. I can share it with you here, but it's the radio. All you'll hear is zzz, and then when it gets slow. But I'll have it for you this afternoon for sure. Maybe the people during the break will get a brief glimpse of it. Oh, teaser.
I was just explaining to a young man. I was helping him when I went to go help that lady with her heating duct system. It was her son. And I love speaking with the younger people that just never heard of any of this stuff. I was telling them, bees should not be able to fly. Their body weight, their wing size, all that kind of stuff. Physics says bees shouldn't fly. And it's really weird that we just can't figure this out. And then I went into the whole Instagram, what is the scarab beetle wings and this and that. And yeah, he was digging it. Yeah, there's so much that happens right in front of our faces at all times that we just take for granted. Really. Nature shows us everything in detail right in front of our faces. How to do all this stuff. Mm-hmm. How to move mountains. Nature shows us. But you just have to be able to see it. You have to have those eyes to see.
Speaking of nature, I've been talking to Ben Balderson a bit, and he's been sort of working on doing a crow episode. And I don't know when he will do it eventually, but he's been looking at the tarot cards as a alchemist and, some of the symbology in those. So, yeah, we've been working through that, and I sort of showed him. And it's basically the tarot cards are the zodiac. And so it's really interesting once you lay them out in a certain way, not based on their numbers or anything like that, but you actually get this story of there's just a few cycles in it, and this is going back to nature. It's got a cycle of rebirth. It's got the cycle of sort of growing up. So it's got the human cycle, all these different phases that you go through, and how it relates to how the sun works, basically, or the yearly cycle of the sun is sort of our cycle or life cycle as well in a larger scale. So it's just really fascinating to tie that those two together. So just a fascinating way that these sort of old sciences or alchemists and things thought about life, and when to do certain things, and it has a tie into the sun and how it moves through its cycle. So very interesting sort of things to dive into.
Well, we are rolling up on our first break here in the next couple of minutes.
Yes, we definitely are.
That went by really quick.
We definitely are. Shout out to everyone in chat, but definitely been missing a special guy there, our line producer, the Alan Holman. Glad to have you back in the mix, friend. Been missing you for damn sure. But the rest of you guys, awesome. Glad you're here. Amazing. We had a little backstage friends sneaking around. Shout out to Special K. Good morning, Caleb. How are you, friend? And Voynich hanging out with us this morning. Allison, good morning. I hope you've been all right on that road. I lost track of where you are, but I know you passed kind of close to me at one point. Not that close. I-10 is probably about where you were, about 2 hours for me. So
yeah, because that's the one I took in. I think I called you from there, and you're like, "Yeah, you're about 2 hours away."
Yeah, that's it. About 2 hours when I saw it finally. Yeah, guys, sorry I'm not hanging out in that Telegram chat. I completely forget it's a thing. It's like not a place I ever chatted before. It was strictly a media sharing place. Drop a file, never see it again till you need it, or go in and look for the one that someone else dropped for you, and that's all we used it for, because it will let you share huge files that you can normally not even send through email, let alone to text each other. So
Yeah, that was the only
My
reason I
apologies
got Telegram.
for me missing that whole thread that I feel like I kind of was responsible for getting you guys in there for in the bigger scheme of things. But yeah, definitely glad you were safe and passing close by. And I've completely lost the channel. There you guys are again. Robert Page in the house. Our Iron Maiden, Liz. Good morning, lady. Glad you're here. Dawn made it. Good morning, Diva. Oh man, I just scrolled too fast. Dawn, there she is. Dean HD in the house. I'm missing somebody. Alex is here. Good morning, Mr. Lightwater.
Did you say Diva?
Did I? I thought I did say Diva and Dawn back to back. Maybe I said it too quickly. My bad. Hello, Diva. Hello, Dawn. Is that did I do it better? My bad. I know I'm missing people. Dean HD said that. Man, I'm gonna go all the way to the top. I'll start at the top. Try this again. No, I'm kidding. We're quickly approaching a break. If I missed you, you know I love you. I think I got everybody. If I didn't, somebody else shouted out. Oh, I hear beeps and blops. That must be somebody telling me who I missed. Oh, now I can't find that. So I'm just going to shut up because I know that commercial music is going to save me any second now, right? Help me.
Just
help me.
any second now, it should be coming.
Come on, music.
Hell, God, take me away.
I know. God save me from this wreck I would run into. Oh, my goodness. Walnut, that's who I was missing. Brian Gasca. Good morning, sir. I finally found you guys. I knew I was scrolling too fast. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. We'll shut up now. I will. Pay a bill. It's Ironworx. True Frequency Radio. Where goes it? Right here.
Hey everyone, it's Chris Gio, founder of Truth Frequency Radio and host of Beyond the Veil. The mainstream media and establishment are running scared right now, and they've prominently featured truthfrequencyradio.com as number 89 on the federal government's hit list, also known as the fake news list, which is essentially a list of sites slated for censorship on Facebook, YouTube, Google, and other social media. Now is the time for you to get involved. Share your favorite TFR shows far and wide on forums and social media. Tell your friends and family about your favorite shows. If you're a business owner, get in touch with us to feature your product or service right here on TFR. And if you haven't done so already, become a TFR supporter now and get unlimited commercial-free downloads in high quality. Visit truthfrequencyradio.com/sign-up. Thank you for making TFR the leader in independent and uncensored talk radio. Truth Frequency Radio, your protection from deception.
Hey, it's Grace. Can we talk about something serious for a minute? Your age. Getting old has its perks. But remember, being a few years younger, you know, your hair was thicker, you didn't have so many wrinkles, that extra weight wasn't haunting you, and you just felt better. Well, we can't turn back the clocks and go back 10 or 15 years, but you can start feeling and looking 10 or 15 years younger with Nature's Youth RSF. It's a doctor-formulated daily supplement that helps your body maintain its peak performance and fight the aging process. Imagine sleeping better, looking better, and feeling better. See how Nature's Youth RSF has helped thousands of people just like you at naturesyouth.com. Naturesyouth.com. Imagine how it will feel when your family and friends are asking you what you did to look so good. Your secret will be Nature's Youth RSF. It's time to start looking better and feeling better. Learn more and order your Nature's Youth RSF at naturesyouth.com. That's naturesyouth.com. That's naturesyouth.com.
For millennia, mankind has been searching for answers to the big questions, such as, where did the universe come from? Where did we come from? Why are we here? Are we alone? And just what the heck is the Sasquatch all about? I can't promise you answers, and neither can the Woo Crew, but they invite you to join them Friday night at 7 p.m. Eastern, midnight in the UK, for Freaky Friday, exclusively on Truth Frequency Radio. Spirituality, multiverse, quantum mechanics, the occult, and so much conspiracy analysis that it will make your mind melt. Take my word for it. Freaky Friday. It's more than a show. It's a way of life. I am Stephen Hawking, and I am proud to be a Wookiee.
No hate, No hype, no fear. We are TFR. Truth Frequency Radio.
And welcome back to the second half of the first half of the Ironworks right here on Truth Frequency Radio, TFRlive.com. Josh, Walt, Lucas, and Zach hanging out with you this morning, just doing what it is that we do.
And that's what we do.
Dude.
So one of my Google stories that they gave me, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Why I got this one, I have no clue, but Khloe Kardashian is trying to remove a unfiltered image from the internet. She is just distraught and can't go on with her life until this image of her taken that hasn't been photoshopped is removed from the internet. That's her scourge right now. Why are they showing me this?
Because it wants to make sure you understand just how deeply depraved most of society is.
Here's what really is sick and twisted. So I know most people have a cell phone. We were mentioning there in chat, Diva's having some struggles. She has Wi-Fi on her phone, but she doesn't actually have cell phone service where she's moved to. Because that makes sense. And I get that. It doesn't. Because you can see a tower, you should have the freaking phone working. And I do think it harks to that idea of what I said there in chat, that they want us playing and distracted and looking at a bunch of crap about the Kardashians' butt or whatever, and definitely not communicating with each other on these devices that were originally designed to communicate, I think. Anyway, so everybody has a cell phone. Yesterday, we went out, had dinner with my son and grandchildren, and bored, cutting up, here, hand her a phone. She's way too young to even have a phone in her hand, let alone just be given free reign of the phone. With the picture thing, take a picture, and me and her, and so now I've got a monkey face, and she's got a unicorn face, and that's fun, that's cute. And then so she's now doing her thing because we're doing our order, and I look over, and she's got these little filters on it now. And it's all these filters that make her look like a freaking grown-up with makeup on. And she's just enamored with it. She's just locked in. Not the unicorn, not the little monkey faces, the fucking bullshit crap that turns them into a grown-up way too fucking quick. And she's just locked in. And that's the only one she wants. And I try to scroll over to the cute ones again. And she's like, no, I like this one. And it's the purple makeup. And this one's got green makeup. Sorry. Ran over. Just fucking makes me nuts.
Yeah, it's definitely twisted, that's for sure. They, I don't know. They have no regard for childhood.
Well,
Children.
makeup is a great way for them to poison you. I mean, the stuff they put in the makeup products. I mean, if you're not going to put it in your body and eat it, you shouldn't put it on your body either. Your skin absorbs more stuff than it's like, the biggest living organ on your body. And it's always taking stuff in from the outside, keeping certain stuff out. When you coat and cover your pores to where they can't breathe and this and that, they don't have any other option but to start absorbing the mercury out of there and all that crap that they put in. What is it? The whale puke? That's like, what's it called?
What?
Ambergris.
Yeah, I was going to find it. I was trying. My brain was looking for it. Yep, there it is. You found it.
It's pretty much whale phlegm.
Let alone all the different varieties of urine that they have in all those products. Got to have that urine in there for your face.
But it's horrible. This
and
stuff.
I get it. If you want to put your urine on your face, that's fine. Your body made that medicine. But putting a cow's urine on your face, I don't think that was nature's plan. I don't know. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Never tried it.
That reminded me of Land of the Lost with Will Ferrell. When he pours dino piss all over himself. Oh, it kind of burns a little bit. That's early morning stuff.
I haven't seen that in a minute.
There's like, well, maybe another douse will help a little bit. Pours it on him again. Do not do that. Instantly made it worse. Don't do that. That's great.
While we're shouting out horrible things to put on your skin, please look for an aluminum-free deodorant if you feel you need to wear a deodorant to cover up your natural scent so that people don't know when you're scared or when you're whatever. I get it. They don't let you have their scent, so don't give them theirs. You can't give them your scent. I get that now. That's where we're at. But I wouldn't stuff little tiny pieces of aluminum in my pores. Just call me silly. Not a thing to do.
What the?
Well, we did go through that, didn't we? Like the aluminium, it basically, turns it to stone. So it can't be good for yourselves.
No.
Sorry, Josh, go.
Well, I was thinking about deodorant and chemtrails and Alzheimer's and the bioaccumulation of the metals in your brain.
Yes, sir.
And the writing of history. Think how much easier it is to rewrite history when none of your aging population can remember yesterday, let alone what it was like when they were kids. How can you rely on the things that they're telling you about the way things were if they can remember it all? So you just totally decimate the brains, and then you can take those next generations and tell them whatever the fuck you want, because those wise older generations that are supposed to be there for reference are completely worthless because they can't remember a damn thing because of all the aluminum they've been accumulating throughout the years. I don't know.
Yeah, my biology professor in college, I'm not making, that was him. I was going to say it wasn't Boykin in high school. No, it was Chestnut in college, saying that the rise in Alzheimer's definitely became a thing as we increased pots with aluminum, drinking cans with aluminum, food cans with aluminum. It definitely shows. And that was back in, well, we don't even know how old I am. It was a while ago. Let's just say that.
No one can remember how long.
I definitely can't because I've had too much aluminum.
Is that
how you say it? Just fucking
aluminium? You can say it really fast when you say it in Australian. That's it.
There are two different spellings for it. There's aluminium,
really?
Which is
it's two different words. I've been telling people this for a long time.
Yes.
It's two different words.
Aluminium is what you find in nature. It's the raw. It hasn't been processed into aluminum.
Alum? Is that what you're talking about? I'm just wondering because I don't know really what it is.
No, it's actually aluminium.
The only thing I know about alum is that's what Sylvester would.
Yeah, aluminum is not found in nature. It's been processed. It's like white sugar. You don't find white sugar, pure white sugar out there, bleached sugar. It has to go through processes to get to that. That's what aluminum is. It has to go through some kind of oxidize or some kind of certain process. Yeah, aluminum used to be worth more than gold until they figured out how to process it in such a way that they could do it in mass quantities. The top of the Washington Monument was tipped with an aluminum pyramid. Yeah, because back then aluminum was so hard to make. So if you go back in time, if you get the time machine, don't take gold and anything like that, something that's going to weigh you down and this and that. Take aluminum.
So basically, I've been saying it wrong my whole life. Is that what you're telling me?
Nope. It's two different words. For what you are saying, you are pronouncing that word exactly correctly. That is exactly how you pronounce aluminium. However, maybe you're just not using aluminum in your vocabulary. You're using aluminium wrong, perhaps.
Yes, that's what I was sort of getting to.
Nope, I've always said that. So we don't mispronounce anything. We just use different words. What were you going to say, Walter?
Well, I was looking up something for my own benefit to share so that everybody else would be as enlightened as I am. If you watched old cartoons, alum, the reason it would shrink Sylvester's mouth so that he couldn't eat Tweety was because it was used in pickling brines. So it's acidic. It would pucker up the pickles. It definitely would pucker up your head, make it small. Yeah, so now we know. So see, you learn something new with this show every day.
It says aluminum is the most abundant metallic element in Earth's crust and the most widely used non-ferrous metal. Because of its chemical activity, aluminum never occurs in the metallic form in nature, but its compounds are present to a greater or lesser extent in almost all rocks, vegetation, and animals.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, it's really just like the processed stuff that's bad for us that they process and shoot into the sky.
Yeah. Because of course it can't be bad if we're just breathing it in.
I wanted to address something in chat too, real quick. I saw it scroll by, so I stopped and pulled up this email that I got. It says, "Hello. Last year I paid up a full year. I want to continue to show my support. I know I've been invisible. I do not want to go from Wayward Scout to Forgotten Scout. I will support every other month until the fall. I know it is all good. I confess I have not been listening 100%, and I hope you and your fellow Knights of the Iron Table are well. My heart goes out to all of you. Pass my good wishes to Uncle Walt. Be well, Claude Rains. Pavlo." So shout out to Pavlo, who is alive, well, and kicking, and does listen in from time to time.
And is much loved, much missed, and much appreciated, friend. And definitely you are thought of often and mentioned in chat, even though our asses miss it half the time, or when I do see it, the conversation's too good to interrupt, and then it's gone. So love you, Pabs. Thank you, friend. Miss you definitely. It is definitely something we need to have, is you back in the mix. So as soon as that can happen, I hope it does, dude. Definitely. Thank you.
Yeah,
love
miss
you.
your brother.
We'll give out.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Zach.
I was just going to say, Lucas hasn't had the honor of chatting with Pav yet. He's got to come in at least welcome Lucas.
That's it. A meeting of the minds. We need it. We need that for sure. So, and if it's different timing would be better for you, we can make it happen off the air, friend. Just let us know. You know where we hang out, obviously. So thank you again.
Wanted to give a shout out to Winston, who can be found in our chats from time to time or in our comments sections. She also gave us a little donation over there on our PayPal account, so that's always nice, and we do appreciate that.
We are Winston.
Yeah, she is a very sweet lady. I got to meet her at Flattoberfest. And yeah, it's so cool having a face to put to all these names in chat and stuff.
Yeah, she and I have been friends on Facebook for years. I never even knew.
Yeah, that's how
person and Winston together. It was hilarious.
I was talking about this on, well, not talking, chatting about this in the chat yesterday during Poppycock Report on Rose 777 or the Great Paul Dini's channel every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 o'clock. And I forgot. I just pitched that and my brain just went through it.
Were we talking Winston still?
Like, oh, Winston. Oh, putting faces.
Uh-huh. That's what it was.
When people, and I know this drives Cammy crazy. I know it does. But I just don't want, I'm kind of embarrassed by it. I don't look directly into people's eyes when they speak. I think I'm on the spectrum. I don't, if I'm
That's a spectrum thing? What?
Well, it's like a communication thing. You know,
I always look at people's mouths.
I can't look at the person. If I look at the person, my eyes cross if I'm paying attention to them. But if I'm just looking at them and focusing on their eyes, I don't comprehend a word they say. It goes in one ear and out the other.
It's because you start a different type of communication that we used to do. Yep.
I see what they say in my mind.
Yeah.
Yep.
I see it. I don't, if I'm focused on their face, then I'm not processing what they're actually saying.
I'm the exact same. So we're on the
nuts.
spectrum together.
Yeah, Cammy will always like, she'll be talking and like describing something to me, and then she'll lean her head down to make eye contact. It's like, stop doing that. I don't want to tell her, but it's like, I can't look at you and think about what you're saying at the same time. My brain just doesn't do it. I've never done that. Yeah, so I just can't make eye contact with somebody and fully, you know, if it's a real conversation. Now, if it's the weather and this and that, then yeah, my brain just goes through the, you know, I can get that stuff. But if it's a real conversation and you're trying to explain something to me, I can't look right at you. I need to look off into it's not like I'm focusing on something off in the distance. If I'm looking straight at, my eyes cross all the time when I'm thinking like that. I don't know what it is. They just do. It's like when I'm using my brain, my eyes turn off. I don't know how to explain it.
Part of what I think has happened with this constant stream of shit into our faces with these fucking screens is that our filtering has gotten all fucking wonky. And the more you do things with, and I know you guys are less exposed to screens than the average person, but we're sitting here in front of one. So that kind of is a dichotomy we were all working with. So the fact that our filtration system is so fucked up is something that I struggle with hugely because of my, empathetic, just, it drives me crazy to feel everybody else's shit. So I have to deal with it at two levels. And visually, that's always been a problem too. I noticed that I never thought about not that I'm not looking in their eyes. It's just that I try to focus more on the words. I saw Caleb and was it Allison talking about closing their eyes when someone's talking to them. I definitely kind of look away because if I'm focused on the eyes, like I said, it's more of a different communication place and it's a lot more intimate. And the eyes are the fucking windows of the soul. That's not a cliche. It is a fact. So that kind of is a distraction. Never thought about it as being spectrum related, but when you said it, it was like, well, duh. That's why we're all sitting here in this little group talking, isn't it? Right? So
it just hit me yesterday. I'd never put two
and
two together. I had never even thought about it, but they were talking about Baldini's wife. He actually diagnosed his wife, you know, who is brilliant. You know, I mean, the young man here in this house, who is a savant, is on the spectrum.
Right.
You know,
that's part of it too.
Being on the spectrum doesn't make you retarded in any way. It doesn't mean
it's the next stage I think we're going to be. I think it's part of that whole thing that I'm reading about, that whole thing of how we've closed off the third eye and this dome of this cavern of our skull. So different forms of communication became necessary. We've run our fucking fill of words and stuff. So something else is coming through. And that's kind of what I think a lot of this whole autism and spectrum thing is. Real quick before it gets too close to break, I realize we rail against screens all the fucking time as we sit in front of one talking to you people, as we sit in front of one doing the show, as I pick up my phone, check news to talk about on this show, as I completely distract my world playing GTA 5 now because it's really fun and I forgot how fun it is. And yes, I play it way too much. As I get lost in music because I love music, even music I know isn't sending me the right message. I still love it. Alan in chat saying that sometimes, well, I'll just read it. My opinion of screens is that they are great if and when you have some control over what you're watching and some reason for watching what you're watching. Yes, sir. I'm a huge proponent of watching stuff that has some teaching semblance to it, some entertainment value for sure. I know that as I say about GTA, I know myself. I am, dude, just huge screen junkie and easily lost in it and way could be doing way more important shit with my time, like Zach does, like Lucas does. A lot more creative outlets, a lot less consuming created things. So I'm not speaking out of my, I am definitely the one who's as bad about it as anyone else. I am guilty. I love screens. That's why I probably rail against them so much because I spend too much fucking time on them. So, Alan, I am definitely right where you're at, friend. Discernment is the key. Rant over.
I only look at screens just to get information. Basically, there's if I'm going to relax, I'll put on a movie or something. But other than that, I'm just diving in there trying to look for information. So it's just a device to find out stuff. For me,
Yep.
that's all it is.
Which can also be a distraction and get you lost and way off on some trails.
Oh,
and
yeah.
great rabbit holes
Yeah.
too, though. But lots of distractions. Suddenly you'll be watching a honey badger video and never really even know what's going on.
There's always that.
I need the distractions every once in a while. I need to just turn my brain off. That's the main reason I still love my video games. I go through stages when I'll download a new game or something like that, and you'll play it for a week, a couple hours a day. It's just awesome. It's like, yeah. And then all of a sudden it's like, you go to play it the next day. It's like, okay, well, this is kind of the same thing I was doing these last 7 days. Okay, I'm going to go see if there's a new game now. Not many games. Now, Red Dead Redemption, that's my game. That's the one game that holds my attention. I think I enjoy it so much because you get to go, there's no set goals really. I go hunting. I go trying to find these legendary animals and I just ride a horse, and it's mostly looking at beautiful scenery without buildings and stuff like that. That's my favorite part of the game. Is it's like nature in a box. So I think that's why I like that game so much. I'll play GTA 5 with Walt just because it's fun and we have fun together. But yeah, most games now I'll play for the visual beauty of them. There's this one game that you go scuba diving, and the whole game is just looking at different fish underwater. You're always underwater. There's like every type of fish in the ocean, and you're going through caves and this and that. And there's no shooting them. There's no taking. I think you could take pictures. I didn't even get into that. I was just swimming around looking at stuff. Yeah, it kind of lets my brain turn off for a little bit, so it's not constantly going. Yeah, it just helps my brain shut up and I get to turn it off for a little bit, let it rest. Yeah, that's my use of video games, is to let my brain just take a break for a minute. Because if not, if I'm even like out in the yard when I'm working, my brain is constantly going, constantly. Unless I'm working with a plant, then I'll talk to that plant.
Well,
And I
think
focus
about all
on
that
that.
electric potential you're digging around in out there while you're doing what you're doing. So yeah, I'm sure your brain's on fire while you're working out there.
Yeah, it's hard to turn it off.
His brain is on fire.
Yeah, you do get that when you've been going at it for a while and your brain just doesn't want to slow down. But yeah, there's just things you can do, or that I do, that sort of switch it off a bit, which is good. You got to do those things. Well, I just find that, I don't want to bring up yoga again, but, it's just a place that I can go for, hour and a half or 2 hours, drive there. You got a nice little drive. You can relax into that. And then when you get there, you're like, okay, I'm just here, just enjoying this moment for a while and, being with myself in a sense. And then you come out and you're refreshed and, your brain's slowed down. You've said, this is my time to switch off. So, yeah, I find that really, really effective, and it sort of can set up your whole week in a sense. Just that, little bit of time to yourself.
That's hot.
I got 3 kids, and I got, the farm, and then all this catering and running around and all this sort of stuff through the week. And so,
let your
and
brain
doing the
recharge
research on
while
the
Yeah. The research
because
is
sleep's not really the same. You've got to sort of mentally put yourself in that relaxation while you're awake, in a sense. So
exactly.
There we are.
There we are.
Wing it, Lucas. It's the Ironworx. That was Lucas. That's Zach. That's Josh. I'm Walt. You know who all the nuts are. Shout out to Internet Technology over there. Hang out with us all the time.
Frequency Radio is your number one source for news and information without the hate, hype, and fear. We're proud to feature cutting-edge programs like Beyond the Veil with Chris and Cherie Geo, X Squared with Brooks Agnew, Paranormal Portal with Brent Thomas, Sharonism Raw with Karen and Missa, Fearless with Frank Castle, Strange World with Mark Sargent, The Eye of Ra with Ra Castaldo, The Infinite Fringe with Billy Ray, Ironworx with Josh Corey, The Kev Baker Show, and dozens more. Did you know you can listen from any telephone by dialing 641-793-7117 or call into your favorite show toll free at 833-TFR Live. Uncensored talk and news you won't hear on the mainstream media. Truth Frequency Radio, your protection from deception.
Police named the shooter. I'm Jack Callahan, Fox News. The man, they say, opened fire on co-workers yesterday at a cabinet shop in Bryan, Texas. Is 27-year-old Larry Bolin. He's been charged with murdering one person and wounding several others, including a state trooper. They still don't know what his motive was. Asked about the reason for so many mass shootings, Bryan, Texas Police Chief Eric Muskie saying,
I think it's indicative of a mental health issue in this country. I think it's my observation in my years of policing that it's done nothing but get worse, and we have to address it.
The Biden administration choosing to target the guns, announcing a series of executive actions Thursday.
Going after home-built ghost guns that have no serial numbers.
I want to see these kits treated as firearms.
Pistols with stabilizing braces would be required to meet National Firearms Act requirements.
It's more lethal, effectively turning it into a short-barreled rifle.
President Biden also calling on states to enact red flag laws, which temporarily take guns away from people who could be a threat to themselves or others.
Fox's Rachel Sutherland, Department of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas back at the border yesterday for what the administration calls a fact-finding mission. His new numbers show more than 569,000 border encounters since the first of the year.
The numbers just jaw-dropping and really illustrate the size and scope of the crisis at the border. More than 172,000 migrants encountered in March, a 71% increase from February, the most seen in 15 years. In this number, nearly 19,000 unaccompanied children, the highest ever recorded.
Fox's Griff Jenkins reports Border Patrol says they've expelled nearly 104,000 migrants, most of them single adults. America is listening to Fox News.
This is the Truth Frequency Radio Network. TFR.
Truth Frequency Radio.
Your balls are showing.
Wake up! Wake up! Wake up!
Wake up!
What is dark matter?
Okay, we don't know.
That's great. That's why it's called dark.
It's exactly.
Everyone knows all reputable information comes from random people on the internet. Tell me things, internet. The earth is flat. It's like school in your hand.
Dark matter is something we do not know what it is. We believe the dark matter is there, but we have never detected it. Well, what I'm afraid of course, is that there is no dark matter out there. There was one? There is no dark matter out there. We need to think really hard,
And welcome back. And guess who got his fade worked out on that little intro music that Walt made for us? Yeah, I just did it just now. Better make sure I save that too. Otherwise, I'll be right back here next week. Double playing it at the beginning of the second hour, which reminds me, there was something I wanted to talk about going on here in Missouri. Something that made me kind of smile a little bit. They put up one of those vaccine centers, just sort of meant for full-time vaccinations, right? Just cycle them in, cycle them out. 3,000 vaccinations a day they are set up for.
Oof.
Yeah. Well, after the first day and only 700 people showed up, they decided to just sort of open it. So the idea that just a mere fraction of what they thought and what they prepared for and what they sort of made available, just a fraction of those people are actually willing to come out and take that shot, which I think is just awesome.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Yeah, the way they like to spin it is we don't have enough shots. There's people waiting in line and we're rushing, folks. We're trying to get these out to you as quick as possible and blah, blah. And we've had setbacks. No, people aren't even lined up to get the shots.
Yeah, no, it's a walk-in basis now. Yeah.
Then they know what to do with.
Yep. They'll go bad before they give them all away, for sure. But then I saw or heard about what happened in Colorado, where there were a dozen people had adverse reactions all in one day, all from one vaccine center. So they shut the whole place down, which is smart. It's great. But it just goes to show that these adverse reactions from the vaccines are happening.
Oh, yeah. Did you see the guy whose skin was melting off? And they ran like every test they could run to say that it wasn't because of the vaccine. And they still had to say it was because of, yes, this was a side effect of the vaccine. It's a rare one. It doesn't happen often. But they had to say, yes, this happened to this man because of the vaccine. They did everything to try to be able to say, no, it was this or that or this. Doctors ran every test in the book and came back saying, well, yep, he had a really bad reaction to the vaccine.
So they're going to put that on the packet or the side effects. Skin may fall off.
Yeah,
I mean,
your skin may melt off your
you're
body.
ready to go, what?
Some skin melting may occur.
Oh, jeez. No, good. It's great. People are, we can't trust what the news says. So maybe people are waking up in droves. Maybe this whole corona thing is backfiring on them tenfold.
That'd be amazing.
I mean, you can't give people the internet and all the time in the world to research your bullshit. You have to keep them busy. You have to keep them watching the sports ball games or going, out to dinner or doing whatever people do to use up that extra time instead of researching. Now you stick them at home in front of a computer for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Eventually they're going to get bored and they're going to start looking in the corners of the internet they've never looked at before. And then 2 and 2 start adding up to 4 instead of 5 when these people say it. And you're like, hey, wait a minute. Maybe that is right. Maybe that does make more sense. Maybe I should start looking into this a little bit more. They're giving people way too much time. Yeah, I think they messed up. They, they make these plans and they have good ideas, but these people really aren't that smart. Maybe at one time, all these, like I've said it before, them keeping it in the family, all these secret society members and this and that. Well, my dad was a part of it, so I get to, like, the Bush family and all these families. They're getting away from the original blueprint. You don't, get to be one of the enlightened ones because of who your father was. This is something that you earn, and, they go and find these people. And they don't do that anymore. The whole recruiting thing is different now, or maybe people are just good and don't want to have anything to do with that. So they have to recruit from within. I mean, George Bush Sr. or Jr., George Bush Jr. was a moron. He was dumber than Biden.
It's an effort.
Well, I think for him, it was an effort. I think for him, a lot of that was an act. I think he was a lot smarter and a lot wilier than he let on, and put forth that Texas good old boy, down to earth. I'm not a smart man, but I know what mission complete is. Whereas Biden, I think, is just
Texas.
Too old.
He's from Connecticut. Bush family is from Connecticut. George Bush spends like 10 months out of the year up there, not in Texas, where he was supposedly, governor and all that stuff. It's crazy. Yeah, it's all a show. It is. It's all a story. I agree with you, Josh. He probably is smarter than, but he's still not that smart. You can't hide stupid that well.
I can't find it, Josh. Do you have it? Damn it. Probably not handy. That's fine. One day we'll find it.
I'm sure I've got it. Well, I'm not
I
sure.
know you have it. I just don't know where it is.
It might be on that hard drive is my problem.
Yeah, that's it. That's all good. That's all good.
Yeah, I mean, that's good about the vaccine sort of stuff that you're seeing. And, but there is the other economical side of things, which seems to be far more dire than even that. I think it's 740,000 people lining up for jobless claims per week in the US. So it's, the economy side of things is
that they're going to want to be jabbed before they get paid, or they're going to want to jab them before they pay them. That's going to be part of it, because no matter what, that just seems to be their end game with all that.
Yeah, I think it is. There's a tie-in between the cashless society and the vaccine thing, and that's where the real sort of rubber meets the road in a sense. So I might not see that play out for a little while yet.
And I know we hear our buddy old Gates of Hell talk about, population control, and while that's a big picture, seems to be, there's also the skin melting off side of it. Fun for everybody. However, read a little something that Mo Fierce, Mellowed E, shared yesterday for us on Twitter. I'll just read this. It'll take a second. More than 100 years ago, Rudolf Steiner wrote the following. In the future, we will eliminate the soul with medicine. Under the pretext of a healthy point of view, there will be a vaccine by which the human body will be treated as soon as possible, directly at birth, so that the human being cannot develop the thought of the existence of soul and spirit. To materialistic doctors, we will be entrusted the task of removing the soul of humanity. As today, people are vaccinated against this disease or that disease, so in the future, children will be vaccinated with a substance that can be produced precisely in such a way that people, thanks to this vaccination, will be immune to being subjected to the madness of spiritual life. He would be extremely smart, but he would not develop a conscience, and that is the true goal of some materialistic circles. With such a vaccine, you can easily make the etheric body loose in the physical body. Once the etheric body is detached, the relationship between the universe and the etheric body would become extremely unstable, and man would become an automaton, for the physical body of man must be polished on this earth by spiritual will. So the vaccine becomes a kind of, oh Lord, what is this word? Aromantic force. Man can no longer get rid of a given materialistic feeling. He becomes materialistic of constitution and can no longer rise to the spiritual. This was Rudolf Steiner.
Wow.
Yeah.
That dude hit it on the head,
When
and
was that?
he done some good
was
work
that
too,
written?
didn't he? That guy.
Yeah. What, John? What, Zach? Sorry.
When did he write that?
I just realized the date at the bottom is just his lifespan. It's not the date of this.
Okay, when did he die then? I mean, how long ago?
Let me go back to it. I've closed it. He was alive 1861 to 1925.
Wow. This
So a
makes
minute
me
ago.
wonder. Go ahead, sorry.
No, I just said so. It was a minute ago that for sure that he
Oh,
was.
okay, yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, what about this? Makes me think about World War One. They give us a reason that Duke Arch Ferdinand, blah blah blah, whatever, whoever, started a world war because he was assassinated. Okay, bullshit. So we know that's not true. Even my history teacher told me nobody knows the real reason World War One started. You know, he even said, they say it was because of this Duke being murdered, but it didn't even make sense to him. What if it was a vaccine war? They had the polio vaccine going around, 1918? Maybe it took a few years to build up, and there was a lot of people saying, fuck you, I'm not letting you stick that needle into my arm. I don't know. They don't give a good excuse for World War One, and it was right around the time that these first vaccines were coming about, and they had people in mass back then. There was everything you see today they were doing back then. Seen pictures of people at baseball games all wearing masks and stuff like that. So this isn't anything new, but it's weird that only a few years later there was a world war that can't be explained on why it actually started. I don't know. I'm just spitballing. Just an idea.
Yep. I could explain all the huge asylums for the crazy people too that wouldn't take the vaccine that we keep seeing over and over.
Bye, Rosie. Have yourself a great rest of your day.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Apparently, Alan's shouting out an anime series called Steins Gate, saying it should be required viewing for truthers. It's about a skill called reading Steiner, which is a skill that deserves more discussion in these circles. Interesting, Alan. I will definitely look into that. I'm always open to anime.
Yeah, well, he that Steiner guy, he set up the Steiner schools.
I saw that in chat too. I think that was Caleb. Yep.
To Robert Page too. Yeah, I did make that GIF myself. The live, laugh, love in the gulag gif. I don't know. I saw your little Stalin making his heart, and just something struck me. So I got a couple apps on my phone that'll do that. So I just played around. I spent like 10 minutes making this silly little gif that I guess I can share around at some point. That just kind of made me chuckle on the inside. So yeah, that was me.
So did you guys hear Elon Musk took another job? He's now on the board of, I don't even know what now. But yeah, Elon is man, that guy puts in the hours. I'm telling you. He's got like 6 jobs now or something like that. They're saying he works over 100 hours a week. Okay, just to put that into perspective, folks, that's 7 days a week of 14-hour days. If he works 7 days a week. If not, if he only works 5 days a week, that's 20 hours a day. I'm calling bullshit. Just straight bullshit. Ain't no billionaire out there working 100 hours a week. No, I mean, soon he's going to be wearing a cape, I think. I think they're just going to throw the cape on him and, yeah, he's going to be in tights, big red boots. It's coming. I mean, the guy's pretty close to Superman already for the pedestal they put him on. And he's a moron.
They might set him up for a fall. They like to do that with some of these, people as well. They set them up, get them as, like a rock star, and then,
pull the rug out from under them.
Yeah, they like to do that. The fall from grace. That's like one of their sort of, key things that they like to portray.
Yeah, that's why they use stupid people, because stupid people don't pick up on it.
Mm. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. He's not Superman. He's Iron Man. Remember?
Yeah,
he's like the Stark.
Yeah, the Tony Stark of reality. I swear that's what they're trying to make him out to be. But no, he's a computer programmer. I bet he's great at computer programming, But I live with a computer programmer, super genius. But I also watched him walk past the house. He was taking the trail along the backyard, and he just walked right by the house, and he was going to keep going. So as genius as they are at some things, there's certain things like Cammie used to make fun of him all the time. She's like, I could make 3 turns in our neighborhood out there in Denver. It was a huge neighborhood. She's like, I could drive and just make 3 turns, and Jaron would not find his way back home. Without his phone, Jaron would not be able to find his way back to the house. He wouldn't. He could be on our street, just a place that he's, not normally around, and he would not find the house. These super genius people, in certain things, other things, it's just not there. So no, I think Elon will get lost probably in his own house.
What if Elon's just a better, like he's the upgraded version of, oh man, what's the other robot from Facebook?
Siri.
No, the dude. Come on, help me. My brain farted because I was reading chat and now I'm lost. The guy who founded
Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah, Robot Zuckerberg.
Oh, that guy.
Maybe he was the first version and it was okay, except, for the like drinking water and like actually having human functional features that actually work interacting with humans. But add that up to the upgrade. There we go. Elon is the upgraded version of the Zuckerberg robot. That's all. He's just a little more functional, not quite as face. Slight. Thank you, Robert. I see you. Thank you. Caleb. Yes, I'm done. Got it. Thank you. Zuckerberg. I got it. Damn it. I lost it. There it is. Zuckerberg. Anyway, Zuckerberg. Sorry, Caleb. Zuckerberg.
Zuckerberg 2.0.
Zuckerberg 2.0. Elon Musk. Hey, apparently the monkey can play ping pong, though.
So
that was right. Dead stop.
If you read that headline made me laugh because the way I read it was that the monkey took the brain implant, took it, and was playing pong with the implant.
Right.
Is how I read it.
Control.
Right. Not that he was using the implant in his brain to play pong on a computer elsewhere. No, the monkey used the implant to play pong.
Which would probably be better for the monkey that way, but
right.
What did they do to him? What did they do to the monkey? That's
First,
crazy.
they built this elaborate electronic bong device of some sort. I'm not really understanding. You got to watch the video, guys. You have to see the video. He blows through this tube to play the game. It is the most, hang on. There's no way to do this except share it with you guys. If I do that, it's on the radio, won't it? So today, we're doing a show on the YouTubers. We'll show you that video and get struck for another channel. No, we can't do that. Just here, I'll share it with you guys in chat, and you go enjoy the video of the monkey using the new Elon Musk brain machine interface technology. Pager is his name, so let's all shout out Pager, the 9-year-old macaque monkey, whatever the hell. He's had it for about 6 weeks. Playing video games now. He gets a banana smoothie every time he does it correctly. Oh, y'all, I'm kidding. It's not a bomb.
Man,
Just watch it.
They shouldn't be treating animals like that.
Or didn't they give the vaccine to a gorilla or something? Wasn't that another story here recently?
Yeah, it was.
I wonder if they microdose the monkey too. If that's going to be part of the brain training. Here, have some psilocybin. Just chuck that into the mix and see what happens.
Everybody's got something to hide except for me and my monkey.
Yeah, don't know where to go from there.
That's an old Beatles song. I think that was the White Album, maybe.
Okay.
Took me back, yeah.
So I never really got into the Beatles, to tell you the truth. Sort of before my time. No one played it around me, so.
Yeah, I did breakfast with the Beatles every Sunday morning. My mom was making Sunday breakfast. It was 4 hours from 5 to 9. Beatles every Sunday. And I didn't care for all the early stuff where they were singing, I wanna hold ya. No, I never cared for any of that music. Really, Rubber Soul and on. Really, Sgt. Pepper. That was the first Beatles album I got as a gift. I was 14 for Christmas. And that just changed my life. My hair I didn't get a haircut for 4 years. And then it was just trimmed a little bit so I could get a job. Yeah, that totally changed my whole life about just really not caring what other people thought about me. That's where I lost all my materialism, was on Sgt. Pepper.
Interesting. I went completely backwards. I literally found the Beatles through John Lennon's last album before he passed. I had heard songs growing up. They were songs. I knew they were songs. I knew they were the Beatles. But just never got into it deeply until his double fantasy album right before he got killed, with the songs that were on it, the amazing songs that were on it. So it made me go, well, if this dude can write like this, even having her horrible screeching ass on this album still sounds good, maybe the other stuff is stuff I need to dig into. Because I had friends that played it on guitar, and they were always, if you learn these chords, we can play these songs. I just never did want to do it. Never was my thing. But I went all the way back, from the era you're talking about. I went all the way back just to see, and it was the harmonies of those early songs. Pretty astounding stuff. Yeah, definitely bubblegum music for teenage girls, but really good harmonies. Anyway, go check it out. So it's more in depth than you know.
Yeah, I just thought Sgt. Pepper was so amazing because it had like every genre of
Oh,
music.
it's one of my favorite albums ever of all time. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Just amazing. And you grow up and you learn that it's all bullshit, and they probably didn't write the songs, and
Or even play them.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm with you, Lucas. I didn't really get into the Beatles. I did not know that the Beatles were a huge international sensation superstar group until somebody told me, until I saw that, oh, look, people dig these guys, huh?
Well, experiencing the Elvis phenomenon like I did growing up in Mississippi, the Beatles was an equal phenomena. It was just not the phenomena I was part of growing up. I was part of the Elvis phenomenon because, oh my God, my family, my mom, my aunts, all my cousins, I appreciated his music as far as he had a voice. There was some stuff I dug. Some of it kind of rocked. A lot of it bored me to death. I got wrapped up in his death when it happened because everybody around me was all boo-hooing. But as far as the experience of him, that was the 70s and late 60s and all that for me. I missed the Beatles. It was totally the other side of the fence where I wasn't at. Didn't get there till after Lennon's, like that album, and then after his death is when I went back to the original Beatles stuff.
So that's going to round it out, I guess, for this segment here, too.
Well,
the show is just flying by.
I guess it will.
So make sure you stick around for the fourth and final segment of the Ironworks, coming up right after these briefest of messages. And who the hell knows what we're going to talk about? It's the fourth segment. That's when the freaks come out. Shout out to you, Nemo. I know you'll be along shortly.
Ringo Starr movies?
Anyway, Josh, Walt, Zach, and Lucas hanging out. We'll be right back right after this.
The reviews for Extendivite are amazing. Here are some from Amazon. September 2018. Extendivite works in keeping my blood pressure in the normal range. I've been using Extendivite for many years now. May 2018. Great product. I use regularly and I rarely get sick. March 2018. This product has relieved what appeared to be angina pain in my chest and shortness of breath after climbing stairs. I'm quite happy about it. February 2018. My husband, son, and I have been using this product for a few months now, and we have noticed an improvement in our joints and blood pressure. Tell us your story. Get Extendivite today. To order, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822, or visit heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Hey folks, guess what the number one phrase that Life Change Tea receives by email? You ready? We love this tea. We love this tea. Time after time, week after week, we love this tea. Life Change Tea gives you more energy, a beautiful cleansing, and fulfills its slogan perfectly. The tea that makes you go. So if you want to be on your health game, log on to getthetea.com and order Life Change Super Strength Tea. Packages come in a 1-month supply, and when you brew this stuff, wait until you see the results. Aren't we all about the results? And with a lot of people's health struggling, we can use a little bit of help. Doctors will tell you disease starts in the gut. So log on to getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. Be our next email saying, I love this tea. I love this tea. Get the tea at getthetea.com. Helping America one tea bag at a time.
He was the deputy director of MI6, Britain's most senior diplomat. He was knighted by the Queen and in charge of thousands of highly trained spies. But he was also a member of the Paedophile Information Exchange. He had 45 diaries full of sex fantasies with children. His friend was the private secretary of Margaret Thatcher. He strangled a child and hit another with his car. He raped young boys and organized orgies with children for other politicians.
The Enigma Channel, intelligent television for planet Earth. EnigmaTV.com.
You're listening to the Truth Frequency Radio Network.
No hate, no hype, no fear.
It's 11:59 at Radio Free America, and this is Uncle Sam with music and the truth until dawn. Right now, I got a few words for some of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone. The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song.
Ooh, baby monkey, riding on a pig, baby monkey, backwards on a pig, baby monkey. The world has gone insane, and you don't know what is right.
There's an old saying in Tennessee, I know it's in Texas, probably in Tennessee, that says, "Fool me once, shame on you." If fool me, we can't get fooled again.
And welcome back to the Ironworx.
Hey. Oh.
That was an intro.
Yeah, if he wasn't really that dumb, then he's a good actor.
I was going to say, that should be an Emmy at least there. Oh, that was good stuff. Good stuff. What was the movie where Will Ferrell played him and him? Oh, Harold and Kumar. Never mind. I remember now.
Yeah, I loved him in Harold and Kumar. That was hilarious.
That was good stuff. Good stuff. Ah. I completely missed Voynich earlier with the Ponky when I was sharing the monkey playing ping pong. We'll have to, that's probably going to be the show title for it. Just let you know. I love it. I love it. Wow, I see great people in chat. We'll fix that at some point. We'll fix it.
I was trying to think back, like on my days of, when I was growing up, about music and things like that, and it was basically, well, I didn't really listen to that much music because my folks didn't play much music. Maybe a bit of Van Morrison, but after a while, I had this little red radio. It was just like a little handheld one that had, ran on batteries, and I just basically go to bed early and snuggle up and turn the radio on and wait for the certain songs I liked. But that was it. The radio was how I sort of started to get into music, and
I guess I was lucky that way. Just had a house that was musical. My mom played church organ and church piano. My uncles and everybody all sang in the church. So I grew up with that. And then the music that was popular at the time, we would all sing in groups and do parts and harmonies, like on trips in the car and things like that. So it just was a thing we did. It was part of, gather around the piano, and Mom would play, and we'd all sing, and it was just our thing. So,
oh, that's cool.
It was really awesome. And then exposure to different types of music. So, I had the uncles and the aunts that liked the Elvis, but they also would listen to crazy stuff like old, believe it or not, Lauren Green, Dad from Gunsmoke had an album out back in the day. There was an album and it was good. Just weird stuff that not many people would have been exposed to. And then on the other hand, I had cousins that were young enough to expose me to things like that were happening at the time. Queen's News of the World album when it came out, things like that. So I definitely had a good musical childhood growing up. Definitely had a lot of exposure. My dad, on the other hand, would have old school like brass playing and old school country, and so I had that side as well, exposed to a lot of that. Probably why I like heavy metal so much, is I heard way too much of that growing up. You have to go the opposite as your folks, right, on your musical taste. But definitely, lots of good music. What was the it thing for you, Zach, if it wasn't the Beatles? I mean, and like I said, I had Elvis was my it growing up, as far as not it, but like the big phenomena that I was exposed to.
No, it was definitely the Beatles I was exposed to. And then my first like band was probably Pearl Jam, that didn't come from my parents. That was the first one that I had heard, and I went out and bought the tape, if anybody remembers those things.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The creator just died recently.
You want to know what my first tape was? It was DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh
Prince.
Parents just don't understand.
No. I had a buddy down the street who was in the whole like Olympia Music Club, so he talked me into getting into the music club. So my first cassette sets were like C.W. McCall's album that had Convoy on it, Jim Croce's Greatest Hits, Sweet's Greatest Hits, a Red Fox comedy album, a George Carlin comedy album, what's the other? Kisses Destroyer, and there was one more I didn't like it. I hardly ever listened to it. That's why I can't remember what it was. But anyway, that was my first group of cassettes that were mine, and I had the little cassette tape thing that was like long and square and had the pull-out handle with the two. You had to push record and play at the same time to record on it. Did a lot of my first radio shows on that thing. So here I am all these years later. Look at me
now. I only bought that tape for Boom Shake the Room. You remember that song?
I remember that. Hell yeah.
So who came first? Was it DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince? Or was it Kid and Play?
That was the one you first said.
They came out before Kid and Play? The Fresh
I don't
Prince
know.
of Bel-Air?
I just bought.
I'm not sure. I know they were like the exact spin-off of each other.
Yeah,
I was just wondering which one
Rakim
came first.
First, B. Rakim, I think, right? Let me look.
I only like that song, so that's why I bought that tape.
And then the second tape I bought was the Simpsons soundtrack, I think.
Wow. Do the Bart Band. Do the Bart Band.
Born under a bad sign.
I saw you guys talking about the cassettes. I mean, I'm sorry, the radios, and you talked about it too. I think my first little cassette, damn it, radio. I'm like reading too much in chat. My little radio was the Kiss radio. It was like the Kiss that had Kiss on it. You couldn't actually hear Kiss on it because they were rarely on the radio, but yeah, it was funny. Kiss radio. That's what I walked around with a little strap for your wrist. Barely pick up anything in the country where I lived. Out in the country where I lived.
And back in the day when we did records, I had the Michael Jackson Thriller album. And we used to play Thriller over and over again and act out the video. And
I can see you doing the dance, Zach. I can totally see you doing the dance.
Oh, man. Those are the days.
Yeah, I remember you used to get the tapes and you'd be like trying to, waiting for your song on the radio, run over and press record it, and hopefully they didn't cut it short or talk at the end of the song.
Yeah.
You'd be like, damn it, trying to get a clean version of it.
Yeah, I used to do the
Call
MTV.
in and request and then wait and wait and wait and wait and wait. Dude, he's not going to play it. And then the last song before he leaves. Oh, there it is.
And then they came out with the double decker where you could record off of another cassette. So I would have, I recorded Mr. Jones. That was like my Counting Crows, my favorite song when that thing came out. And I recorded it over and over and over again on a cassette. So I didn't have to rewind it or anything. I could just sit there and listen to the song over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Oh, it was great. Man.
I think the other tape I had was like Genesis or something. They were like a one-hit wonder. One song was called what was it? Can't Walk or something like that. I forget the song.
I can't dance.
Yeah, that one.
They were a little more than a one-hit wonder here. I don't know.
Yeah. Here they were pretty big. Phil Collins was
huge here. Yeah.
huge.
In fact, they're doing a re-up right now. I'm pretty sure I just saw they're doing a.
Coming in.
Oh yeah, that track.
That was Phil though. That was solo. That was not.
Coleslaw. You could put coleslaw in a lot of different songs. Just saying. That one song, I thought it was Coleslaw Forever. Oh Sherry, I'm in love. Coleslaw. My mom was like, "What are you singing?"
What in the world? Oh my God. Coleslaw. That is too.
Yeah, I was singing coleslaw. I was like, why does he love coleslaw so much? Why is he telling Jerry about it?
Jerry.
Hey, Jerry, coleslaw.
I love coleslaw.
Coleslaw.
I'm going to write a song about it.
Coleslaw.
Yeah, that's when I didn't pay attention to the words so much in the songs.
Jerry's coleslaw on the recipe source right here. Sorry, I'm looking for pictures. I couldn't help but share. Oh, too much. You can't write these things.
Big shout out to Nemo in chat. What's going on, brother? Cold up there in Michigan, I bet. I don't know. My mom said it was getting nice up there in Indiana. They've been having 70-degree days, stuff like that. So spring is coming.
Some would say it's here. Some would. Oh, goodness.
Yeah, I still have a cassette player. I don't know if it works in my truck. I never upgraded to the CD player.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I used to have one. We used to have a car that, because the bus stop was a fair way away, so we'd jump in the car and then that had a tape deck in it, try and catch the bus. So it's going back a little while now.
On the way to work to the YMCA, we had enough time to listen to 2 songs, and we would listen. It was a BTO cassette, Bachman Turner Overdrive. We would listen to Let It Ride and Taking Care of Business.
Taking Care of Business, baby. I knew that.
I was like 9, 10 years old. I was the only person in class who even knew who BTO was. Yeah, my mom was cool. She had her songs, and yeah, we used to jam all the time. She'd get into it and be hitting playing the drums on the steering wheel, and we'd be, it was the 80s. We'd be dancing around in the van in the back, and nobody wore seatbelts back then.
I saw BTO open for Styx, and they were like, even Styx were getting long in the tooth, but BTO were like, ooh, definitely getting old at that point. Yeah. I mean, this is when the Roboto tour was happening. So, yeah.
Yeah, I saw Steve Bachman with Ringo Starr and his all-star band. And he was that was in 95, and he was pretty old then.
I bet.
I got to see John Entwistle, bass player from The Who, like fall over on stage. He was all messed up. Like before they even came out, either, I don't know, he was hammered or he was sick, something. He was not feeling good. You could tell. And yeah, in the middle of Boris the Spider, he walked off stage. It was weird. But yeah, John Entwistle, he's like the godfather of bass. Without him, there'd be no Flea or any of these guys. Primus. I mean, he was like the first guy who took a bass and just started slapping it, making crazy noises with it. Yeah. So I got to see that guy. That was, my little brother's so jealous. That's his favorite band, The Who. And he's seen him, but Entwistle passed before, he had a chance. So that's one I always got on him.
One up.
Yeah. I don't know how we got onto cassette tapes, all that stuff. This started with Lucas's Kid and Play.
We went down a drive down memory lane there, didn't we?
Yeah, little bit. And then it's getting worse for me because I'm looking up the photos to accompany all this, so I'm flashing back all over the place. Yeah, definitely. It's kind of funny though that I literally looking at this cassette tape I was sitting in that bedroom with my cousin, and not only are the jokey, funny interviews with each other, we're doing the interviews with answering it with lyrics out of the middle of a song. So here's a fun question for the president, and now we answer it with a lyric from a song. It was the 70s. It was Jimmy Carter's time. Mr. President, what's your favorite snack food? There's a song called Peanut Butter from the 70s. And yeah, it was a blast. And now what do? I sit here and talk about those things on a radio show. Thank you all for sharing this fun with me. I appreciate it.
This is awesome.
Yeah, it's hard for me to drag some of those old memories out of from childhood and that back. It's like you're really reaching into the old drawers and dusting it off and pulling out the files.
Though, I pulled up a story I've shared. I've looked at this topic before because of this. Excuse me, sorry.
Oh goodness, bless you.
Pollen. Anyway, because of the disparity between my childhood memories and Shell's childhood memories. And she didn't have a traumatic childhood or anything like that. She had a normal, upbringing. It was just her memories are not clear like mine are. I can remember, as I told you guys, literally crawling around under the pews at the church as like an infant small enough to crawl around under the pews, looking up and seeing the little dowel things connecting the little archways under there, and then seeing that under the table in the house where they would be playing pinochle, and I would see those connectors. I would put that together. Apparently I got here an old soul. But anyway, I have clear memories of my childhood, and lots of people I know do not. And again, it's not always, oh, you were traumatized, so that's blocked stuff. According to this story, it is just something nobody can really explain. There's no reason that they've come up with why some people have really clear memories of their childhood and some people don't. And apparently,
my buddy, he doesn't remember anything. A thing. Doesn't remember anything before the age of 9. Nothing.
Mm.
Oh, that's true.
I'm probably pretty similar. I don't really remember much of my childhood whatsoever. You could probably sit there and go back and try and remember it, but I just don't see the point, honestly.
No, it's
unless
not
it's like pertinent to.
It. Yeah, it's just things like I'll see something or this or that, and I'll have a memory from when I was like 3 years old, playing with my neighbor Steve and I was Batman and he was Robin.
Right.
I don't know.
Okay.
I'll see a quilt that reminds me of the quilt that I had, and then all these memories just come flooding back from, way back when. It's wild. I remember my first Batmobile I ever got for Christmas when I was 4. I can see it in my hand right there. I can see the room that I'm standing in. The dark room at my Aunt Nana's house, her living room, when you walk in. I remember when I got it. Yeah, it's crazy. It's like a movie in my head that I can rewatch whenever I want.
Oh, and that's another thing in that story is some people, or maybe it wasn't that, maybe it was a different story, but this idea as well that some people have no visual thought process, if that's a way to make this make sense. Okay, so when you think of an object, some people see a picture, but some people just think of the word for that object, or they think of where they read it on a page before, or something like that. It's not. It's hard to explain. In the story, I think they were using art as a way to work through this being an issue, where that it would help people who didn't have this visualization skill develop it by doing artwork to try to bring those visualizations into their mind. I don't know. It's a complicated story.
Yeah, no, that's right. There are some people that don't have that visualization skill, but I don't know if that's attached to memory at all. But
no, I don't either.
Like I was saying, I don't really.
Two different things that are similar but not the same. The idea that just some minds work differently. That it's something to do with the soul that inhabits the body. Is that something to do with the genetics of the body that's been inhabited by the soul? Is it the combination of the two? Is that why certain souls choose certain families to get those genetic traits in the bloodline that will help with the soul's work here, that kind of thing? All those questions.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I'm like highly visual. I can, have an odd object in my mind and turn it around in 3 dimensions and all that sort of stuff. So,
absolutely.
Used to have fun with it. It was a lot of my childhood actually, like just being in that sort of visualization state. So, yeah, no, that's an interesting concept with having a certain mind that needs to be, associated with certain things to, get the best out of their life. I mean, I got no issues with that.
Yeah, I don't know how or why. Maybe people are just wired a little different. Yeah, I don't think it has anything to do with trauma, because I've had traumatic events happen and I remember them,
Right.
Yeah.
There's a small part of it that's cut out when I watch the guy and the girl on the motorcycle doing like 150 running in the back of a minivan. That's like the only thing in my life that my brain said, you will not remember this. Where I blacked out, not from any drugs or anything. I was 14. I'd never smoked. I'd never drank anything at that time. I was playing hide and go seek, And I looked, and I remember watching the motorcycle like run into the back of it, and then the girl go flying off like a Roman candle. And then next thing I remember, I'm sitting in my room and I hear ambulances. I kind of remember walking back to my room a little bit, but I've made that walk so many times that could have been my brain filling in. I don't know. But I just remember like waking up in my room like, did that really happen? And went out there and yeah, it did. But yeah, that's the only time ever that I've had something removed from my memory that it was so traumatic that I, like, even right afterwards, I could not remember it.
Yeah, wow.
But yeah, I remember everything, up to it and directly after it. And it's not like I can just recall things when I want. It's almost like I see something and it just triggers it.
Yeah,
all
yeah.
those memories.
People get that with the smell as well. Certain smells do that. Like you can smell something, and then all of a sudden, yeah. That's good. Yeah, that's it.
I'll hear certain songs, and I go right back to my bedroom, sitting there playing video games. You know, I'll hear a song.
Yeah, I can do that
especially
too, in a sense. Yeah.
Yeah, it just takes me back. Bob Dylan, I hear Bob Dylan. I'm sitting there playing Tiger Woods Golf, 2004. That's when I was doing Dylan. Yeah, it's weird. It's like my own little
It's
personal,
interesting how it works.
internal time machine, you know? Now, the trick is to be able to stay there and look around and travel away from where you were at that point in time and look at other things that were happening at that time. That would be cool.
That would be cool.
Isn't it?
Well, I think it's going to about round it out, fellas.
Wow, speaking of Flash, right. Goodness, I just looked. We're out of here.
Love you.
Thank you, guys. Thank
Come
you
join
all.
us this afternoon.
Please do.
Do we ever determine what it is
Thanks,
we're doing
everyone.
exactly?
I heard something, but it was all something else.
Did we ever determine what we were doing exactly?
Well, do we ever?
No, not usually.
Wouldn't that make like sense and logic and things? Come on, man.
That'd be nice.
Our best shows are swinging it by the wing in it.
Well, fuck it. Come on over. Let's see what we do. Let's see what happens.
More folks.
We'll
We're
find
showing
out
you
together.
a bee, a slow motion bee, and it's pretty crazy. I was watching the video right here a minute ago. It's pretty nuts. You need to see it. I'll show it to you a bunch. Anyway, love y'all. Thank you.
Have a good one, folks.
All right, guys. We'll see you this afternoon. In the meantime, be good. Be well. Have a great rest of your Friday. Love you. Bye-bye. There it is. I knew it was around somewhere.